Today I'm behind it with a brand new 2021 Mazda CX-5. Now for 2021, Mazda fixed one of the biggest flaws to the CX-5, and that is with this infotainment system. This is completely new. Now there is a bigger screen, it's a lot brighter, more responsive, and the interface works a whole lot better. Now besides the infotainment system, there are a few other little changes that Mazda made. So just how good is this brand new CX-5, and is it still competitive within this segment? Well, keep watching and find out. All right, I'm on the road. Let's see how good this brand new CX-5 is and how it drives. Let's start out with the outside. I believe the CX-5 is definitely one of the best looking compact SUVs out there. There's something about the CX-5 that looks different. It's round and bubbly, but it still has a nice stance. It still is very elegant and stylish. And even though this CX-5 has been out on the market for a few years, it still looks good to me. If you look at the front end, very Mazda. You have a very big grille in the middle with that big, huge Mazda emblem in the middle. And of course, you do have that chrome bar that stretches from one side to the other. Because this is a signature, you get the full LED treatment, full LED headlights with auto leveling, and also LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, and an adaptive lighting system, which means the headlights can also turn and bend according to your steering wheel. So you get the full treatment. Now moving to the side, you have that nice profile, right? You have a long overhang up front, which looks a little bit weird, but you have a very short overhang and you can see the curviness to the tailgate. Now the signature comes with very special 19-inch satin aluminum wheels, and I really like the design, and I do think it fits the overall character very well. And of course, you move to the back, you do see that very curvy tailgate, and you have wide hips, but you have a wide stance, a low stance, dual chrome exhaust tips underneath, and you have a shark fin antenna and spoiler and privacy glass on top. So the outside, I'm a big fan of. I think it's still very stylish and modern and still one of the best looking compact SUVs out there. When you move to the inside, the same thing. This cabin looks like a German luxury car. I would say the Nissan Rogue, the new one that just came out, if you look at the Platinum, the top trim level, I would say that rivals this cabin. But keep in mind that that just came out, and this cabin has been out for a while, and this is still one of the best cabins out there. Inside the signature trim, all the seats are covered in brown Napa leather. Everything feels good, it smells good, and there's really good use of aluminum everywhere on the door handles, on the dash, right around the air vents. Even the power seat controls are covered in aluminum. Really nice touch. And what makes this cabin look even better for this year is this brand new and much bigger infotainment system that sits right on top of the dash. Now previously, the base trim, you get a 7-inch screen, and the upper trims, you get an 8-inch, but still, it was just small, and the interface and the resolution, everything about it just, felt dated. This one does not. This is the same system that you find in the CX-9, and it's a good one. This is a 10.3-inch screen, not the biggest, but still, it's the right size. And also the resolution, the responsiveness, the brightness, everything about the screen is just light years better than before. Now, the one caveat to the screen and this system is it's not touch. So Mazda decided to take that away. But with that said, the controls for this infotainment screen is fantastic. You have a large rotary dial, and it works really nice. You can scroll and move left and right, up and down, press down. Very intuitive. It's just easy to use and learn. And also you have some buttons around, like a back button, a music button, navigating button, and a home button. Those are very easy to figure out. You also have a favorites button. And right next to it, you do have the volume knob. So you have to get used to the volume knob is right next to it. But overall, this is a big, big upgrade. And the resolution really stands out when you use the cameras in here. So when I put the CX-5 in reverse, take a look. The rear view camera, nice and big. The resolution is so much better. And look at the new and updated 360 view camera system. Whole lot better with the screen, with the very high resolution screen. This is a big improvement, that's for sure. A few other things in this cabin that didn't change, but it works, and it works well. For starters, the heads-up display. I can't really display it because it really doesn't come out, but the heads-up display inside the CX-5 is one of the better ones. Of course, you get the usual stuff like the speed limit sign and how fast you're going, navigating directions, but also like things like your stop sign actually appear on there. It's really nice. I like it. It works well. The other thing that didn't change is the gauge cluster. And I'm a fan of this gauge cluster. I know manufacturers, they want to go fully digital now, but this one, there's nothing wrong with. In the middle, you do have a large screen, and Mazda cleverly hid it, so it looks like it's analog, but it's really not. But you could scroll through various menu items, of course, like TPMS, your trip computer, settings, all that good stuff, right? And it works. It's bright, and yeah, it actually does look like it's analog, but it's not. And on the side, you do have two large gauges. Those are analog, your tachometer and also your fuel, your temperature, stuff like that. But you know what? I think that works. That combined with a heads-up display with this new infotainment system, this trifecta, very nice. The one small nitpick I have about this heads-up display is I wish there was a dedicated button to turn it off, because sometimes it is very bright in your face and you just don't want to see that. And unfortunately, there's no dedicated button, so if you want to turn it off, you have to go in the menu and kind of fumble around, find it to turn it off. So that's the one small nitpick I have about this heads-up display. Now, besides the exterior and interior, the biggest advantage the CX-5 has over the competition is the optional engine, and that is the one under the hood of this one that I'm driving. It's a 2.5 liter turbo engine, and this is the one that's pulled straight from the CX-9. Now, this engine delivers 250 horsepower and over 300 foot-pounds of torque. The caveat is you have to use premium gas. If you don't, the power and torque comes down a little bit, slightly, but this is a terrific engine, very, very powerful, and it suits this CX-5 perfectly. Now, Mazda is going a little bonkers with this engine because now they're putting it inside the CX-30 too. That's going to make the CX-30 a rocket. So you can opt for this engine on the upper trims, or you could get a lower base trim, which is still decent, but I really love this engine, and this engine has made it to a very nice 6-speed automatic. And this automatic is beautiful. It's always in the right gear. I never feel like the CX-5 is bogged down. I know that all the manufacturers have moved to an 8-speed, 9-speed, 10-speed, but guess what? There's nothing wrong with the 6-speed. It works, and it works well. So I really like this powertrain combination. The CX-5 also excels with handling. Mazda, in my opinion, is kind of like the BMW of the Japanese manufacturers. So they tweaked the suspension so it gives you that sport feeling. It feels nice. The CX-5 feels nice around corners and bends, and not a lot of body roll. So you get that sport tuned suspension feeling. Plus, it's pretty comfortable around town, right? So right now where I'm driving, small dips and potholes and stuff like that, the suspension is soaking up perfectly. So it's a good, well-tuned suspension, and many, many, many people, including myself, really like it. And the steering complements the suspension really nicely. The steering wheel looks nice, very modern look. Of course, leather wrapped, right? Has a good thickness. Now, the button design, a little confusing, but overall pretty easy to figure out. But the steering feel itself is fantastic. There's a good weight to it, and also very, very, very precise. Almost no play in the steering wheel at all. Just slight shake in the steering wheel. You'll feel the CX-5 move. So very precise steering. So this steering feel complements the suspension really well. And they both complement the very powerful and fantastic powertrain really well. And that also complements the inside and outside, and you get my point. So in 2020, Mazda updated the safety features inside the CX-5. So Eye Active Sense is now standard. So front, pedestrian warning, emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, auto high beam, right? Lane assist, those things became standard. Now, for 2021, on the signature trim, Mazda decided to step it up a notch. So now, driver attention, that has been added. So if you're falling asleep, it's going to let you know. And also, rear emergency braking has also been added in addition to front emergency braking. So the CX-5 for 2021 gets slightly more safe. Oh, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. So had an opportunity to accelerate about 25 to 60 miles per hour. This is a lively compact SUV. 0 to 60, I read around 6.2 seconds, and it felt good. It felt fast, felt lively, and surprisingly, this engine made a really throaty sound when I, had it in full throttle. That's a surprise because this is a 4-cylinder. It's not a V8. But trust me, that engine sound actually was really nice. Really, really nice. So, acceleration, passing, getting up to speed, you're not going to have a problem inside this car. Now, as I'm coming to a stop, the brakes are good. The pedal's a little stiff, just slightly more stiff than what I'm normally used to, but overall it's good linear feel, and the CX-5 stops when you expect it to. So I mentioned all the good. What are some not so good? Well, there is one big flaw to the CX-5, and that has not been resolved, and that is space. The CX-5 is not very big. So in terms of headroom, there's plenty of it. So as you can see, I have plenty of headroom, right? Shoulder room up here is okay, but hip room, a little lacking. But when you move to the second row, that's where you really feel it. I'm 5'10", and I have basically no leg room left behind my driving position. So that's a big deal. So if you're a 6-footer, you're above 6 feet, you're not gonna feel comfortable in the second row because there's just no leg room. So the CX-5, it's just small. It is just small. Now, second row passengers, inside the Signature does get a lot of things. A pair of vents, and if you fold the armrest down, you do get heated seats and also 2 USB ports back there. It's kind of hidden. You have to look for it, but it's there. So the amenities in the second row isn't bad, but just space, that's a problem. And same thing in cargo room. You move to the back. For a compact SUV, this is among the smallest for this segment. You can fold the seats back down pretty easily. There's handles on both sides. Underneath, you do have a spare tire, which is nice. But take a look. When you try to fold the second row down, unless the front seats are really pushed upwards, they get stuck. That kind of shows you how little space you get in the second row. So that is a problem. But when you do eventually fold down the second row seats, then obviously you get a lot more cargo room. You could fit bigger things. But the biggest flaw to the CX-5 has to be the size. It just needs to be bigger and longer. I've sat in subcompact SUVs that were bigger on the inside. Besides space, there's a few optional features that are missing. For example, you get a regular sunroof, but not a panoramic sunroof. That's pretty standard these days. Also, there's no wireless charger in here. That's also pretty standard these days, right? There's no engine auto start stop functionality, but I would actually say that's a plus. That's actually a plus because that's just really annoying in almost every single car, and you don't have to worry about that in here. So I guess that's a plus. And you do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but now manufacturers are moving to wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which is also not available in here. So in terms of features, there's some really nice optional stuff that other manufacturers offer that this CX-5 does not have. Now, something else that I'm noticing are these seats. These seats up front look fantastic. The design looks good. The leather looks good. It smells good. It feels good. But it does feel stiff to me. I wish they were a little bit more comfortable, softer. These are more like sport tune seats, so I could feel the bolsters are quite hard, especially the bottom cushion. So the bottom cushion it's kind of cutting into my thighs just slightly. The back is okay, so I think these seats are good, but I wish they were a little bit softer. Now, as for visibility and driving position, both are good. Visibility could be better, and that's because the front visibility is kind of hindered a little bit by this bump over here. that is used for the heads-up display, so it kind of blocks your front vision just slightly, but not too bad up front. The sides are good, the mirrors are pretty big, blind spot is also pretty good, and rear visibility is good too. So visibility, not too bad. Driving position, also decent. I mean, this is a compact SUV, so you have a slightly elevated ride, you get a commanding view, and with the good visibility, so overall driving position is also nice. Cabin noise is also very quiet. Besides the engine at full throttle, you don't hear much. Nothing from the outside really. Cars passing by like right now, very slight. No wind noise, nothing from the road, right? So overall, very quiet ride as well. So next, let me talk about trim levels and pricing and give you my final thoughts on this brand new CX-5. As for trim levels, there are 7 to the brand new CX-5. The base Sport with all-wheel drive starts at $26,670. Then you have the Touring, and for 2021, a brand new Carbon Edition, which adds some unique exterior touches, is introduced. There are 2 to choose from, one with the base engine and one with the turbo engine. Next, you have the Grand Touring, then the Grand Touring Reserve, and finally the range-topping Signature, which starts at $37,405. To conclude, the 2021 Mazda CX-5 does so many things well and really stands out from the compact SUV segment. The timeless exterior still looks great, and so does the elegant and luxurious interior and dash design. The optional turbo engine and transmission provides a very lively and fun ride, and the suspension and steering feel are fantastic. The CX-5 does come with a bunch of safety systems and provides a good amount of standard features. Lastly, the new infotainment screen and system is a big upgrade for 2021. However, the one thing that truly holds back the CX-5 is the size. The second row legroom and cargo room is among the smallest for this segment, and there are subcompact SUVs that are larger. The new screen would be slightly better with touch, and lastly, some optional features you find in other SUVs are not offered in the CX-5. Overall, I'm giving the brand new 2021 Mazda CX-5 Signature a score of 96. To learn more about it and to see where it ranks, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and check out these other videos.